always mention these top 4 champions for clear speed for the meta, and all the pro junglers I've talked to, and even in interviews from LCK junglers, they're talking about getting bored of it because it's so heavily reliant on that speed to get through your camps. On the other side, though, I'm a big fan of the Xayah picks. Very good versus a lot of the hard engage that is rotating around through the meta right now. And since Tristana is a flex pick here, you also got to take away Rell. Rell Tristana to me is the tier 1 kill lane bottom side. You have the best support in the game, best AD carry in the game, so TSM break that up.
Yeah, Tristana's ability to engage, assassinate, disengage, lane, scale, team fight, peel, everything kind of. The champion's top tier right now. So Evil Geniuses, although they do give away that Udyr first, they grab themselves an S+ pick in Trist. Gragas now locked in here for these guys as well. So we know that that one will be going most likely into the top side. Could also be support. So a couple of different flex picks here for the side of Evil Geniuses, while everything on TSM, we know exactly where it's going, which means Evil Geniuses know exactly where their bans need to target here in the second phase. It's got to be the solo lanes. And again, Kobe, it's Jiizuke. They've just got a bead drawn on this guy, and they are removing every possible bit of comfort that he would try to rely on here in the mid lane. Orianna, our next ban from Evil Geniuses, banning away PowerOfEvil to make sure that he cannot play one of those staple champs in the mid lane.
Yeah, I'm assuming Syndra is going to follow that for EG to make the full collection of PoE control mages from mid lane. It's either that or Victor. So that's why I feel like it's kind of hard, because PoE still is going to have one of those two to actually rely on. You only have one more ban on the side of EG to fully try and block him out. I would say definitely go for the Syndra. It has higher kill pressure in lane, and you don't have to scale as much as the Victor, so you get a little bit more early presence. They also ban out the Lucian here on the side of TSM. More of this early pressure. I want to see if they throw something else out, because I've been hearing some whispers, about some of the other mid lane champion pools that have been floating around in scrims. I won't spoil them here yet.
I was gonna say, you got any secret information here that you're trying to tell us, or is this just secrets that you keep to yourself until they show up? And you reveal the
I'll save it until it shows up, so that it's fun for everybody when we get to see it.
All right. Well, we'll just have to wait and see what you've got stored up your sleeve. Gnar, Lucian, Jace, Orianna, those are your 4 bans here in the second half. Evil Geniuses, I like the fact that they're waiting for their very last pick of the draft to show exactly what's going to happen there in the mid lane, whether or not it's Tristana or she's going into that bottom lane instead. We can see the Sion locked in for EG. That's going into top. Gragas should be there in the bot lane. Now, what does TSM want to respond with? I need to see 2 different solo laners. There's that Syndra you were talking about pretty fast.
I really like Aatrox into Sion because it's such an easy lane, and then you can come in and have really big mid-game impact with Aatrox flanks and breaking through a lot of these team comps, especially with Udyr as a front line there. Udyr, Aatrox, and Rell. You have a lot of tankiness. You have a lot of front line. There we go. It is going to be the top lane Nocturne. This has been played in the LPL a bunch. Obviously, DoinB was one of the early adopters from mid lane, but they also have started flexing it a bunch in the LPL. So I'm assuming it is going to be the top lane Nocturne up there for Huni into a tank matchup. You should easily be able to clear out this wave. Nocturne, you can just queue up the wave, then walk up with the extra move speed, get your passive AoE off, and annihilates the ranged minions. And then you can buy yourself some time to move. It also puts a ton of pressure on your opponent's mid lane. And it's with TSM's strategy of, all right, we're throwing a bunch of these bans at Jiizuke early on, take away his comfort picks, and then they can also, keep this pressure with a global.
Alrighty, here it is, game number 1 of what could be 5, here to decide who moves forward in the lower bracket and who gets to watch the rest of the playoffs from the comfort of their own couch at home. Let's see who's got it. TSM and EG make their way out on Summoner's Rift.
All right, game number 1 opens up in the big grudge match here. Honestly, I'm still looking at what the last-minute champ swaps were. Okay, it's as predicted. It is the super standard, or more highly anticipated, actually, with the Nocturne on top side. They are going to get the late invade onto Deftly, and he appropriately buffers the rocket jump. No harm, no foul there, but it does mean no explosive shot start for Tristana, which is generally what you use to shove the wave early on. So we'll see about TSM's bottom side start there, if they actually pull for Spica, or if he does a top-down route from the Udyr starting up in blue quadrant.
Okay, looking across the board, just sort of taking tally of everything. We've got all 4 of our solo laners running a teleport here in this game. Both of our supports running Ignite with Aftershock. And up there in the top side, Huni with the Nocturne, running the Conqueror for those powerful extended trades against his tanky opponent in Impact Sion. Jungler starts will both be on the top half of the map. Huni is sticking around up here in the enemy jungle, just throwing a ward down onto the Krugs, seeing if Svenskeren goes for that full clear on the top side before heading down into the southern half of the map. And you can see Lost and SwordArt already just taking a nice small trade for themselves, knowing that Deftly doesn't have the skill that he wants at level 1.
Thank you so much, observers, because Flowers, that's just what I'm talking about for TSM and their efforts in gathering more information early on so that they don't fall behind in some of these early games that we were talking about. Huni, because they see bottom lane not leashing, they invade really late on bottom side. They get the rocket jump out of Deftly, and they walk over by blue buff. Then Huni takes it upon himself to go ward Krug so they can track Svenskeren even further into this game. They know it's a Lillia red start. They know even the time that he left Krugs on with that vision. So it should be so easy for TSM to push up on bottom side, get a deep ward. SwordArt is already on his way there. This is just such a well-coordinated early game for TSM in tracking Svenskeren's Lillia so that there are no surprises. EG, though, definitely here. Quickly to level 2, so no harm, no foul there. Didn't drop any extra CS either, so the bottom side invade didn't go anything beyond that extra little bit of vision. This is an early gank, though. He's skipping Krugs to do it.
Oh, nicely done, though. The stun sets it up very well here for TSM. Jiizuke's got no way out, and Spica's the first man on the board.
No defensive properties for the Yone, Flowers. You just gank him with the Udyr. Really good adaptation. Here goes Lillia down bottom side, though.
Okay, the return play coming out from Evil Geniuses, looking for the damage onto SwordArt with a flash away, but he will not stay alive. The Eep goes forward. Svenskeren looks to make even more go down here. Hopping and prancing and skipping and jumping right back away. There's no return kill for the side of TSM, and Evil Geniuses ties up the game.
All right, quick to answer back there for EG. They're going to kill on the bottom side, even with all of the effort put into keeping track of Svenskeren. TSM, they go for the 2v2 there at the perfect time for EG. And SwordArt is immediately punished. Look at this. They're pushing up. They actually did not put the deeper ward by Krugs and Blue. And so when SwordArt goes in, this is TSM opting into that 2v2, knowing that Lillia is on the bottom side of the map. And that is just some miscoordination, not appropriately respecting your opponents. Maybe if that ward in Tribrush had actually been put up in the kind of standard spot between Blue and Gromp, where you would actually see Lillia clearing those and see him head on the way down, they wouldn't have made that mistake. But that's a quick answer for EG, and they definitely needed it. You know, with the focus that TSM straight from draft phase are putting on Jiizuke and early ganking him there for the first blood. Incredibly important to get some gold back for the jungle position there for Svenskeren, upgrading to his level 2 boots really quickly and trying to fend off the Udyr.
Right, Spica just running into the enemy jungle, contesting things here, and I want to point out, Jiizuke walked to the left, placed down his trinket ward, it was immediately swept away. Walked to the right, placed down his control ward, SwordArt rotated, swept it away. TSM is doing a good job with their jungler and support positions, removing as much vision and safety from Jiizuke as possible, and forcing him to have to play forward on this champion that you already pointed out, and we already saw to be true, does not have adequate escape mechanisms if TSM continues to focus him.
Yeah, I think really good you know, in-game focus here already from the game plan that was laid out in Champ Select. Bottom side, we do have a little bit of a feint here from Spica, but he has no control ward to lay down or anything. So, and it was also seen by that little ward by the end of the river there. So EG able to react easily for themselves, secure the rest of the jungle for Svenskeren. And he does have flash, you know, approaching level 6 pretty quickly. For the solo laners and the junglers coming into this one. That's when you really have to worry about, you know, Syndra burst repeat ganks on mid lane. Jiizuke Didn't use his flash in the first blood, so he does have flash to try and get out of it. And his ult as well, once he gets to level 6, can be used to run away. Though it does have a delay, and that's not the optimal usage or way to play Yone.
Yeah, really, it's one of those things that's sort of like when Sion ults backwards. I mean, it does serve its purposes, but it doesn't feel like what it was designed for, as we will see that engage up here on the top side, and Huni is the target. Uses the ulti onto Svenskeren, trying to find a way back out of this one. Nice spell shield onto the Ep, but Impact's going over the wall, and Svenskeren says, all right, let's do this. A little bit more damage coming down. Huni running away, but the blooming blows are enough, and Evil Geniuses finds their second kill of the game.
Well, he said they knew it. You know, Huni gets some attention from EG. They attack him early on. It was a good spell shield. Also a good use of the flash. But there's flashes that can follow there from EG easily. And Svenskeren, Impact, neither of them hesitating. Really good usage. All you have to do is land the seed slow from Svenskeren to allow Sion to get the channel time for the knock-up on Q. And with the extra damage, good execution there from the side of EG, taking down this Nocturne early in the game before Huni can get to the point where he easily pushes out these lanes super quickly and then starts ulting opponents. I mean, they forced an ult out right there defensively. Now you're losing a lot of the threat of this whole Nocturne pick, with your first level 6 not being able to use it on a jungle invade or on a mid lane play.
Nocturne, too, being one of those champions like a Twisted Fate or something similar that has the powerful ulti that can impact people from far enough away, you want that value. Every single ulti that you don't manage to get a kill off of, that you don't build your lead with, just feels really bad when you pick the champion. So good stuff from Evil Geniuses, keeping that off the table for now. Looking at Huni's build, has the tier to make sure he has plenty of extra mana to just keep on laning with, spamming them spells, getting the Duskbringer out there. We can see Impact and Svenskeren working together again here up in the topside river, and as soon as the Rift Herald spawns, they are already there working to take it down. Now the control ward in there from TSM will show them exactly what's going on, but here in the mid lane, Ignar rotates over, and Jiizuke is allowed to shove the wave out. Spica is here in the top half of the river. Svenskeren's walking back down into his own jungle. Impact will do the same, although through that top half angle, and it looks like Evil Geniuses just went ahead and leashed old Shelly here for TSM, and they got to be feeling pretty happy about that one. Spica's got the smite. Rift Herald over to TSM. And
yeah.
What? Oh, no!
He was trying to sweep.
He tried
I know you've done that too, Flowers.
I've done it too. We've all done it before. You're thinking you got the sweeper. It's just in the back of your mind. They pick up Shelly. They summon Shelly. Shelly's going to end up grabbing a couple plates here in the top lane, and that is about it. We'll see if they want to try to make the dive onto the Sion here. I highly doubt that. There you go. 2 plates, about 320 gold, and Impact clears out the rest of the waves. So not the worst thing. A lot of times the Rift Herald just gets you 2 plates anyway, so Rift Herald's off the board.
It's fine. Optimal, yeah, you'd like, mid lane focus to continue, get more damage and more gold onto PoE and keep focusing Jiizuke, but it's just fine, right? As you said, you still get the kind of low-end expected gold value out of it. And Huni also getting to roam a little bit with the Nocturne. We saw the point of this pick there. You get a little bit of a feint. You push out mid, or you push out topside and then go mid lane to threaten these Nocturne ultimates on that Yone. I will say for Jiizuke's side of it, though, as much as we're just hyping this entire time straight from Champ Select, all this focus on Jiizuke, he's still CSing really well with the Yone, has not been kept down too bad, even though they first blood ganked him and they spent a bunch of bans on him.
Back here in mid lane, Jiizuke 85 versus the 86 CS of PowerOfEvil. Dead even between these guys as TSM will once again bring those more supportive champions, the support, the jungler, get him back in mid lane, clear out all the wards, make Jiizuke blind. Make it not safe for him to step up here in this champion and guarantee that PowerOfEvil is always going to have priority there in that mid lane matchup. He's already about 300 gold ahead of his opponent, and Spica maintains topside river control here from that Scuttle Crab. You can see he's about 2 camps ahead of Svenskeren's Lillia. Back here on the bottom side, it's SwordArt going in, but a nice stop on the engage there. Gragas' body slam takes priority over most other dash abilities in the game, and Ignar shows that off beautifully.
And when looking at Spica, again, the reason I highlight him in the intro, you have to also take into account, not only does he have this gold lead, well, we'll see about the top lane gank first.
Okay. Oh, and they're just going right back in for it here. There's the sleep. Watch out. Oh, I didn't even get to say the line. Damn it, it was going to rhyme too, but they got another free kill onto Huni, and Svenskeren and Impact know exactly how they want to play this game.
Gotta get him out real quick when it's a gank on top side, because again, Huni goes down. Very, very efficient play there from EG. They get off the top side focus, but then you have overloaded that side of the map. Your bottom side is going to have to give ground. TSM trying to answer back their cross-map play. They even call down mid lane for PoE to come hover and force Deftly and Ignar off of this minion wave on turret. They're actually trying to slip back in as they're drawing Lillia down.
Oh, nicely done from Ignar there with a flash engage onto Lost to immediately start things off for Evil Geniuses. Now he has to flash away. Lost down to about 200 HP, but TSM's bringing in the backup now as well. Nobody's dead yet on either side. Neither mid laner rotating over to this one. Teleports were not able to get involved in this. So despite the fact that it seems so much was invested here, everybody's walking away alive for now. But with the Dragon started up, I'm curious if TSM's going to allow that to happen. Answer is no. Huni's going to phase check the brush here, and now our team fight is really breaking out. Impact's the first one to die. Lost grabbing the kill on that. Spica's trying to run away with Impact's dead body, putting a couple of hits on him, but they cannot get a return kill. It's a 1-for-0 for TSM here so far. Jiizuke and PowerOfEvil might join up in this one here next. SwordArt tries to go for the engage, but can't find it thanks to Deftly's flash. Svenskeren's the next target. Nice shutdown coming out for PowerOfEvil. Deftly's likely to die next, and TSM just runs circles around him.
Oh my goodness, Huni goes right into the brush. His spell shield was so quick there, keeps himself alive, and actually they're able to burn down this Sion and then kite away from the zombie and still take the objective. That's actually so crazy. One of the big benefits of Sion early on is how the death even provides frontline afterwards, and so they're able to just focus him down and then still disengage with the sleep already having been used by Svenskeren, heal used by Lost to give him the extra move speed to back up, and with PoE heading down, you see mid lane Jiizuke staying at these minions. EG have to get out of there. They don't have Jiizuke coming down. PoE doesn't hesitate. He just flashes right over with the ultimate, and definitely no summer spells to get out at the end there either, allowing Huni to also get inside with the Nocturne. This is going to further fund him towards that stride breaker. This is one of the reasons, by the way, we didn't get a lot of time to talk about the LPL Nocturne that emerged as the flex pick between mid, jungle, and top lane. But stride breaker is just the godlike mythic item for Nocturne. Because the dash got improved, it's a longer dash and adds a slow. It's just the perfect missing link in Nocturne's kit, Captive Flowers. I play this in the jungle all the time, but having an extra dash to gain distance and slow them as you ult in and get the fear tether on them makes it just so insanely difficult for anyone that you're diving, any of these backline champions or low mobility champions, to actually break that tether now. They can't even flash to do it, and you can always flash follow since you're basically guaranteed to land your stride breaker dash slow on them. And it really just pulls together the entire dive for the champion, as well as balancing your stats to get you a little bit more tanky and not making you this kind of one-shot missile, one-way ticket into the fight where you also get blown up afterwards.
Makes it so he can have a much better impact there in those fights later on, as Impact himself making a move here in mid. PowerOfEvil's the target. Impact's underneath the tier 1, but PowerOfEvil steps away in time. Jiizuke wants to do something a little bit more after that, but it ain't happening. Lost about to get hit by the ulti from the Gragas. Look at the tier 1 turret. It's about to crumble. Svenskeren is here. Remember, Lost used his summoner spells in the previous team fight. Considering his ulti is now gone, Evil Geniuses wants to commit and find the kill onto the Xayah. Two-man sleep coming down now, but Spica's arrived into the fight. Evil Geniuses with the overcommit, not quite. Deftly grabs at least one, and now they have to make their way back out. It is a 1-for-1 here so far, but it's support for AD carry, and I'll call that a win for TSM.
Yeah, that was a really good disengage from SwordArt there. I mean, Lost does everything that you need from him initially. He ults the Gragas ult, then he uses Gale Force to dodge down into the second brush. But if it's not for SwordArt there, blocking Svenskeren, then using the peel with the Magnet Storm into the E-stun, he definitely would have gone down. So that is a support play you like to see, Flowers. He sacrifices himself, perfectly peels for loss. Here we go. There's the ult for ult we're talking about. Gets the damage done. Then he has Gale Force to dodge away from the seed here. Doesn't land the slow on the speed. Ignite does give vision, so allows Ignar to easily land that cast. But then SwordArt, he dodged there for Svenskeren, gets the pullback on the ultimate, gets the AoE stun, does get bursted down by Deftly, but trading out the support for the AD carry kill is actually beneficial for TSM. And Spica's back out to another objective. He has claimed every neutral objective on this map in game number 1. And he's not going to let up now. That's Herald number 2, Dragon number 2 for TSM already picked up, and they continue their control of these objectives here in game number 1.
I'd like to see a little bit more discipline on the Shelly summon this time around. All right.
Okay.
She made it out of the river, and that's farther than she got on the first attempt. All right, we'll see where they want to summon that one up here in a little bit. The next dragon is spawning in just a little bit over 1 minute, and considering TSM has that 2-0 advantage in those, it would only make sense that the Evil Geniuses starts to become a little bit worried about that. They're down 1,500 gold. They're down a couple of Drakes. They just lost that next Herald, as you were bringing up. It's been full objective control for the side of TSM. And Evil Geniuses needs to stop the bleeding here a little bit. Everybody on TSM just continues outplaying their opponents on Evil Geniuses here in these moves like what we saw in the bottom lane. And now it's up to EG to do something. Outplay TSM, find a way to contest here in neutral ground, because if you give away this next Drake, all of a sudden TSM has the ability to secure the Infernal Soul itself here in about 5 minutes. Spica tries to go in, look for that bear slap onto Jiizuke, but he gets away in time. Evil Genius is bringing everybody down here. TSM doing the same. 20 seconds till the Drake.
I will say, Jiizuke has had very good movement so far in this game. Aside from the early first blood attempt, that was the 3-minute gank with Udyr being a very unorthodox clear, not killing the Krugs and coming mid first. Since then, he has been extremely good here with the Yone, and a Yone mid game at the Dragon fight can win them the fight if they decide to take it, and looks for that big ultimate off the backside. This is definitely going to be a turning point here for EG. It's basically one item for most of the carries, just with a little bit of incomplete extra components. So yes, there is a gold lead, but it can be fought.
All right, Jiizuke not at that 2-item Yone power spike with a 100% crit chance that everybody knows and loves, but now the team fight's already starting off. Lost having to use the ulti, coming right back down with the damage onto the enemy team. Now Deftly's the first one to pop. There's the Nocturne with SwordArt killing off Jiizuke. Svenskeren is stuck in the middle in a 1v5. The boy's no longer alive. PowerOfEvil grabbing the kill, and TSM slams that fight.
TSM came to play, Captain Flowers, and Huni gets some revenge. That is a feels-good Nocturne play. He annihilates Deftly, who actually had Flash there. And with Rocket Jump taking so long, you could see Huni was still able to keep up with him and gets the kill onto Deftly in the backside. Just 100%s him, even though it looked like a good initiation there. The Nocturne plus Rell is insane. Really good job there by SwordArt, putting the E onto Huni so that when Huni just dashes in, not only do you have the dash in there with the Stride Breaker, but the quick snap stun provides a really good line placement for this Nocturne. You can dive into the back line, stun through everybody else, and get it on the Trist, allowing the 100% to 0. It's just crazy synergy on display from TSM, and man, this one just went from fightable to insanely difficult for EG.
Definitely did 0 damage. As Tristana, he was not able to fight against the Nocturne whatsoever. The chase continues. Definitely gets away for now. TSM once again pressuring onto the Evil Geniuses carries. 4,000 gold ahead. They're on Soul Point. Man, that last fight was just real bad for the side of EG, and I'm starting to wonder what is the win condition at this point, Kobe, because it just seems like TSM's on a higher level here today.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to win a drastic team fight, right? That's pretty much all that they have to be hopeful for. They can try and set up, little Fog of War brush plays for themselves, get a control ward in one of these brush, clear out TSM vision, and hope that you get a numbers advantage play. But that's always on the board. That's no different for any team, right? You can always hope for these, comeback plays where you're able to get surprise kills. And aside from that, it really does have to be a huge shutdown. it's so difficult for them to do because, you know, Xayah here can peel for herself, lost that splash, and ultimate will be available for the next fight. And you have to deal with this crazy combination. Yeah, and Gale Force. You have to do with this combination of Nocturne dive being this perfect component for a Rell combination where SwordArt's able to get the E onto him and then dive into the backside, get that quick stun onto all the priority targets. And as you pointed out, Deftly, he got to cast a rocket jump, but that was it, and 0 damage in the last fight. Meanwhile, the rest of the team also was hindered, so they didn't, like, you know, get a counter kill or any, you know, big stuff done in the team fight on the other half of the map.
Okay, we've got 2 minutes, my friend, until that Infernal Soul is on the Rift, and Evil Geniuses will be tasked with having to prevent it yet again. But the Stride Breaker, the Chem Tank, the Everfrost, all these big impactful items completed for the side of TSM. EG really hoping that here in the next 2 minutes, Jiizuke can complete that second crit item, have the 2-item Yone power spike here. You can see Zhonya's at least done for Svenskeren, so he'll be able to buy a little bit more time here in the fights himself. Tristana still on 1 item too. Things are just looking a little rough for Evil Geniuses as TSM move into the top side of their jungle, start clearing out their wards, placing down some of their own. TSM knows they want to accelerate the state of this game. They want to continue choking Evil Geniuses out of their own resources, and they'll do just that with this jungle control. Lost in SwordArt defending the tier 1 turret here in mid, with PowerOfEvil and Spica pushing up the wave into the tier 2 top side.
It's going to be so difficult for EG. They do have double teleports ready, though. You'll have to early teleport. Huni on the side lane down on bottom side is pushing up and will easily be able to cover distance towards mid. Meanwhile, they've also got top cover here as Spica is just watching and playing bodyguard for PoE. He does have flash, but he gets knocked back into the team.
A lot of damage onto Deftly coming out from the Syndra, though, as everybody from Evil Geniuses makes their way over to collapse. PowerOfEvil with the flash over the wall, but he flashes right into the Lillia. Ignar is there with a follow-up from behind. Jiizuke's ulti doesn't find anything whatsoever. The counter engage is beautiful. SwordArt shows him exactly how to find a big multi-ulti, and everybody from Evil Geniuses, despite starting it off with a kill, has nowhere else to go but home. TSM win another fight.
Rell looking real OP, Captain Flowers, as SwordArt gets the re-engage for TSM. You can see Huni as well. He teleports immediately and casts the Nocturne ultimate as they go in. He barely does not get hit by Jiizuke's ultimate as well. If Jiizuke had been able to clip that Yone ultimate on him, maybe EG would have been able to play off that momentum and try and snowball and pick off Huni as well before SwordArt and the rest of TSM got there, but they're unable to do it, and it takes them too long to pull off this kill. Spica, though, as we said, he's playing bodyguard for PoE, doesn't flash the Gragas ultimate, so he has to flash afterwards, and actually then has to run through the whole team, does get slept, but it takes so long for them to get that kill. TSM, as you know, converge and still get the counter kill. This is Soul Point, Flowers, even though it's only 23:45 into the game. TSM already with control.
Okay, Jiizuke did not hit the 2-item power spike. I want to point that one out. Evil Genius's blast cone over the wall, and oh my goodness gracious, it's an Uber Eats blast cone. That's not what you want to see. Evil Geniuses just getting absolutely shredded as they fly over the wall, and nobody's living to tell the tale except the support. TSM, 4 for nothing, and an Infernal Soul is the cherry on top.
Yep, that's going to be a Soul plus a Baron, Flowers. This is TSM making a statement in game number 1. It's not like there are any split push options available to EG either. So no real Hail Mary, big comeback, push out on a side lane plays. They've only been able to take a single tower this game, and their team is drafted for front to back team fighting there with the Sion. But TSM have just stomped them in every single team fight here through the mid game. With Soul and with Baron, you get the reset from TSM, and they will be marching towards those inhibitor turrets already. Here's another look at the blast cone. They all jump over, but SwordArt is ready. Immediately pops the Rell ultimate. They're able to lock them up and burn them down. I mean, they killed Jiizuke, or they killed Svenskeren before Svenskeren even got to get off a Q on Lillia. So there's no Q, there's no ultimate coming from Lillia, and they blast cone right into their deaths.
I'd say put a bow on this one, wrap it up, make it look pretty, it's all over. Kobe, this one, I just don't see a world where Evil Geniuses finds a way to fight back against a TSM with an Infernal Soul, with a Baron buff, with an 8,000 gold lead here 25 minutes into the game. Impact finds himself too far overextended, and once again, it's Spica and PowerOfEvil working together. 2-0-9, 3-1-5. The score lines on this team are perfectly indicative of how one-sided this game has been so far. And talking about momentum, talking about a best-of-5 series, this is one hell of a way to kick it off.
Yeah, when you open up a best-of-5 with a game like this, it makes people question, how many they got in the chamber. Is it actually gonna go 5? Because TSM, they now should be able to push all 3 lanes in. Huni doesn't have teleport, but it honestly doesn't matter. They have plenty of disengage here for TSM, so they move up top and mid first. EG sitting in their bases, they have to just pounce on an opportunity like this. There's no teleport on Huni. This is the best chance they're gonna get for a numbers advantage. And look at that.
Oh, just the damage on this,
Bye
man.
bye.
Immediately destroyed, exploded, disintegrated. There is nothing left of them, and now the push is just going to turn into a full-on dive. TSM, deep behind enemy lines, lost up in the air, and he's right back out. Impact gets rooted up. More damage flying in there as he has to use the Gargoyle Stone Plate just to make sure he stays safe. Meanwhile, down here in bottom lane, Huni wasn't even required. Spica wasn't required. These two guys are just pushing up the other 2 lanes together. It's 2 different inhibitors under fire. The remaining inhibitor turret also now exposed. TSM wants to make this one a sub-30-minute game.
They certainly do. Ignar just gets ulted right in the face. Impact with an attempt here against the wall. I like it, but stunned back from TSM, and that is going to be inhibitor on top side down. Bottom side is exposed. Jiizuke can only chase them for so long before he snaps right back to his body. Oink. And they have to lick their wounds here. It is EG. They've got so many minions to clear out here too, leading up to an Elder Dragon fight. That's kind of what you tell your teams in solo queue. You're like, you know what? We got one more in us. We got one more. Yeah, we got one more in us.
Fight an Elder. Otherwise, if it goes bad, we FF. That's what you tell the solo queue team. You're like, this is our last chance.
Because you know.
Geniuses, man. This one is really the last chance here. 11,000 gold diff, Dragon Soul. You got to win this, and you got to do it with an ace. And then you got to get another ace after you got the dragon, and then probably another ace after that.
You know, too, if you go to an Elder Dragon fight, and it's low enough, you win that smite fight, that can give you the execution to actually win the 5-on-5 that would otherwise be something you could only dream of. It makes it a reality, Flowers. The Elder Dragon can definitely make your dreams come true. TSM, though, they don't actually have to wait for it. There's an exposed inhibitor on bottom side, and they're using the teleport from Huni mid here to be able to push up mid as well. They can try and sync up the next wave. Just push right in and force EG's hand. Impact is recalling right now, so Sion with Chem Tank and Ultimate both available is going to be the attempt from EG.
All right, TSM, push it on up. Let's see what we got. Evil Geniuses have to make some sort of a miracle defense here. Jiizuke's already killed off, lost his godlike. Everybody on Evil Geniuses is dead before the words can leave my mouth. Svenskeren once again, a nice golden tombstone for the rest of the team. Triple kill for Lost. Elder Dragon not required. TSM might be in the lower bracket, but they're looking to make a statement that they do not want to stay here for long. Taking down the enemy Sion now. Impact's gone. Lost gets the ace. Stopwatch just to guarantee there is no return kill, but the dead body still gets it. Bud Light ace for TSM. Game number 1 looked easy.
What a smackdown here in the LCS in game 1 of TSM versus EG. They focus on Jiizuke in the draft phase, banning out the Echo, banning out the Rise. They focus on him in the play-in game as well. First Blood gank is a short Udyr route, doesn't do Krugs, does not do the standard full clear. It immediately goes 3 at 3 minutes, goes mid. And catches Jiizuke on a forward pushing wave. Honestly, though, it wasn't even about, a big hole in mid lane or anything like that for TSM. It was about the objectives. Spica was on fire. This man, I feel like, wasn't getting enough attention heading into this matchup. He made sure that he was forefront in everybody's mind in this one because he clean sweep all of the early objectives for TSM, in addition to getting off the early gank and really establishing map control here for TSM.
And it felt like those early fights, too. It was TSM individually playing better than their counterparts on Evil Geniuses, and as a result, playing better and more cohesively as a team. They look real scary here coming off that win in game number 1. And with that TSM win, it's time for us to step away. But when we return, we'll be breaking it all down with the State Farm Analyst Desk.